Okay, we'll start with the today's session. In the last session, we were discussing about how the operating company will decide how many trunks have to be provided for a given exchange, and we saw that the operating company will analyze the number of calls that are being made in a particular day, and depending upon what is known as the busy hour, they will decide how many trunks have to be provided for handling the traffic. Busy hour definition, it is a time duration of the day in which the number of calls will be maximum. Now, based on the busy hour, operating company, a telecom operating company, will decide how many trunks have to be provided for a given exchange to carry the traffic. Now, in this session, you are going to look at the unit of traffic, how they measure the traffic, what is the unit of that. So unit of traffic is basically Erlang. We'll go through what do you mean by Erlang, how they define it. Right now, when you talk about traffic, it is defined as the average number of calls in progress in a given time. The average number of calls that are in progress will be termed as traffic. Right, unit of traffic is Erlang. Unit of traffic is Erlang. And how do you define 1 Erlang? 1 Erlang means 1 hour of continuous use of one channel. You know that in a given exchange there will be many number of channels, right? And if we consider one channel, and if that one channel is used continuously for 1 hour for carrying the call, then we say that traffic that occurred in that channel is equal to 1 Erlang. Again, I repeat, 1 Erlang will be, how do you define 1 Erlang? It is 1 hour of continuous use of one channel. Next, we talk about something called as holding time. Holding time, as the name itself tells you, it is nothing but the time for which a particular channel is held, or you can say it is nothing but it is the duration of the call. It is called as holding time because it will hold a given trunk for that particular time. For example, if a call duration is 60 seconds, that means what? A particular trunk is held, it is held for 60 seconds. So that becomes the holding time. Similarly, if the call duration is 1 hour, that means the holding time is nothing but 1 hour because a particular trunk is held for 1 hour, right? So that is the thing. We talked about Erlang. What is 1 Erlang? 1 Erlang is nothing but 1 hour of continuous use of one channel. Similarly, we talked about holding time. Now, while defining 1 Erlang, again, 1 Erlang doesn't always mean that one channel has to be utilized. Like as per the definition of 1 Erlang, what it says, like if one channel is utilized for one full 1 hour, it is called as traffic carried by it will be called as 1 Erlang. But that is not all. That is not the case all the time. For example, in the given diagram, you can observe here what has happened in the first diagram. There is diagram A. Trunk 2 is occupied for the entire duration of time, right? So here this 1 Erlang of traffic is carried by only trunk number 2, whereas trunk number 1 and trunk number 3 are free, right? So the traffic carried by trunk number 2 is 1 Erlang. Or if you combine 1, 2 and 3 together, the trunks 1, 2 and 3 together, we can say that they all together they are carrying a traffic of 1 Erlang, right? Similarly, let us go to the second scenario, that is nothing but figure B. In figure B, if you observe, trunk 1 is carrying the traffic but not for the entire duration. You can observe the shaded part here. It is carrying the traffic only for a small amount of duration initially and at the end also. Similarly, trunk number 2 is not carrying any of the traffic, but whereas trunk number 3 is carrying the traffic in the duration right? Which are different from trunk number 1. In this case, we can say that trunk number 1, 2, and 3 together they are carrying a traffic of 1 hour length. Similarly, let us go to the last scenario. Here also same thing. Here all the three trunks are carrying the traffic part by part. So together we can say that they are carrying a traffic of 1 hour length, right? So here they again, like if it is a blank space, it is nothing but it is representing the free time, and the shaded part means that it is a busy one. Sometimes what happens, the traffic will be expressed in terms of hundreds of call seconds per hour. Hundreds of call seconds per hour. In short, it is called as CCS. This measurement of traffic is basically used in North America. Instead of Erlang, they use the unit CCS. CCS stands for what? It is nothing but hundreds of call seconds per hour. In an hour, how many seconds will be there? You know it. 60 minutes into 60 seconds. That will be the total number of seconds in a given hour. Out of those total number of seconds, if there are 100 seconds of the call, we say that it is 1 CCS. 100 seconds of the call, right, in a given 1 hour, it is called as 1 CCS. That is one more unit used in the place of Erlang. It is basically used in North America. Right, this is obvious. You know that 1 hour contains 36,000 seconds, right? So if I want to correlate Erlang and CCS, we can say that 1 Erlang will be equal to 36 CCS, because Erlang will be defined for 1 hour, right? And hence 1 Erlang will be equal to 36 CCS. And how to calculate a traffic carried by the group of trunks? We have a formula for that, and that it is given by A equal to C into H divided by T. This is nothing but the formula to calculate the traffic carried by a group of trunks. A is nothing but traffic in Erlangs. C is nothing but the average number of calls arriving during the given time T. H is average call holding time. So this is the formula for calculating the traffic carried by group of trunks. And in this formula, if you observe, if the total time duration is equal to the holding time, average call holding time, then what will happen? A will become equal to C, right? That means traffic in Erlangs will be equal to the mean number of calls arriving during a period equal to the mean duration of calls. If T becomes equal to H, then A will be equal to C. Or in other words, you can say that if average call holding time becomes equal to the, what you can say, the total time duration T, then you can say that traffic in Erlangs will be nothing but it will be equal to average number of calls. And if you are considering a single trunk, if you are considering a single trunk at a given time, then the traffic will be always less or equal to 1 Erlang. It will not be more. It will not cross more than 1 Erlang if you are considering single trunk. That is what he is saying. For a single trunk, A is nothing but traffic in Erlangs. It will be always less than or equal to 1. Since a single trunk cannot carry more than one call at a given time. It is obvious. A trunk cannot carry more than one call at a given time, and hence the traffic in Erlangs will be always less than or equal to 1 when you're talking about a single trunk. Next, we talk about occupancy of the trunk. A traffic The traffic is a fraction of an Erlang equal to the average proportion of time for which the trunk is busy. Right? How to, like, when we talk about probability of finding a trunk busy, of course the trunk will be busy whenever there is a call that is going on. It is obvious. If I want to check whether the given trunk is busy or it is free, it is obvious that a trunk will be busy whenever a call is ongoing. During other time it will be free. So if you talk about probability of finding the trunk busy is equal to the proportion of time for which the trunk is busy. This is obvious. Whenever there is ongoing call, trunk will be always busy. Thus this probability is equal to the occupancy of the trunk. Let us go through one simple problem. Look at this problem. Of course it is a solved one in the textbook. What is saying, on average during the busy hour, a company makes 120 outgoing calls and average duration of each call is 2 minutes. Company is making 120 outgoing calls whose average duration of each call is 2 minutes. That is one thing. Then continuing with that, he is also saying that the same company receives 200 incoming calls of average duration 3 minutes. Now what he is asking you to find? He is asking you to find the outgoing traffic, the incoming traffic, and total traffic, all in Erlangs, right? So going to the first one, the outgoing traffic, make use of the same formula that we saw earlier. What was the formula? This one, A equal to C into H divided by T. Make use of the same formula. The outgoing traffic will be equal to 120. 120 is nothing but the number of calls into duration of each call, that is 2, divided by 1 hour, that is nothing but 60, right? Because we are talking about busy hour, means total duration they are talking about is 1 hour. Since he has given busy hour means it will be of how many minutes? 60 minutes, right? So the total time duration which we are considering here is 60 minutes. That is why divided by 60. I need not change it to seconds because the duration, each call duration is also given in minutes. So it will be 120 into 2 divided by 60. So that will be 4 Erlangs. Similarly, for incoming calls, it will be 200 into 3 because average duration of outgoing incoming call is 3 minutes, divided by 60 again. So that will be 10 Erlang. The total traffic will be sum of outgoing traffic as well as incoming traffic. That will be 4 plus 10 equal to 14 Erlang. Again he has given a note. What is saying, on average for outgoing calls are made during their average holding time of 2 minutes and 10 incoming calls are received during their average holding time of 3 minutes. That is, if T equal to H, then C will be equal to A. This also we saw, this condition. Now moving on to the next problem. Again during the busy hour, that means total time duration is 60 minutes. On average, a customer with a single telephone line makes 3 calls and receives 3 calls. The average call duration is 2 minutes. What he is asking, what will be the probability that a caller will find the line engaged? He is asking you to find the probability that a caller will find the line engaged. Right? How to calculate this? You have to calculate the occupancy of the line. Right? So it will be equal to 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 is nothing but how many outgoing calls are there, how many incoming calls are there. Or you can say in the given problem, the customer is making 3 calls and he is receiving 3 calls. That is why it is 3 plus 3. Making 3 calls and receiving 3 calls, hence it is 3 plus 3 into 2. Why 2? Because average call duration is 2 minutes. divided by 60, because again we are talking about busy hour. Busy hour, 1 hour means how much, how many minutes? 60 minutes. This formula is same as the previous one, only difference here is we are taking incoming and outgoing calls together. That is why we have taken 3 plus 3 into 2 divided by 60, that will be equal to 0.1 Erlangs. This is nothing but the probability of finding the line engaged, right? Next we talk about congestion. Congestion means what? When there is no space to occupy, or you can say busy. The basic simple meaning of congestion is busy, right? So when we talk about telecommunication, if I say there is a congestion, what actually I'm talking about? A line is busy, or I can say that I cannot make a call because that particular line or a trunk is already occupied by another call. And you when can you encounter congestion? You will encounter congestion when all the lines in a given exchange are already occupied and there is no free line to make another call, right? So we will talk about congestion, how to overcome that. Now in the first statement is saying that it is uneconomic to provide sufficient equipment to carry all the traffic that could possibly offered to the telecommunication system. What do you mean by it? Now suppose, assume that in a given city there are 1,000 customers. 1,000 customers are there. So if you assume that all 1,000 customers will make the call at the same time, then how many trunks have to be provided for a given exchange? 1,000 trunks, or say 1,000 lines have to be provided. But providing 1,000 lines will be what? Uneconomic. It will be costly, very costly. If I go on providing trunks equal to the number of customers, it becomes very costly for the company. So what they do, they will never do that. Like they will never provide the number of clients equal to the number of customers, right? So the number of trunks or the lines that have to be provided will be decided based on the busy hour. It will never be decided based on the number of customers. This thing you have to keep in mind. Number of trunks will be always decided taking into account the busy hour and not by taking into account the number of customers. So he's saying that if I provide the number of the number of lines or trunks equal to the number of customers, it becomes what? It becomes uneconomic, or you can say it becomes very costly for the company, right? In a telephone exchange, of course, it is theoretically possible for every subscriber to make a call simultaneously. That means what? Assume that there are 100 customers in a given exchange. For a given exchange, there are 100 customers, and probability, theoretically, it is possible that all the 100 people can make a call simultaneously, right? But practically, it never happens, right? Now, the cost of meeting this demand would be prohibitive. Means what? I cannot, just by assuming that all the 100 people will make the call at the same time, I cannot provide 100 trunks. If I do so, I am simply increasing the cost. So what is saying, the cost of meeting this demand would be prohibitive. Means what? The operating companies will never do it, right? Because theoretically it can happen, but practically it will never happen, or you can say the probability of it happening will be negligible practically. Now, the situation can therefore arise that all the trunks in the group of trunks are busy, and so it cannot accept any further calls. This state is known as what? Congestion. Now, suppose in a given exchange, assume that there are 20 trunks, right? And all the 20 trunks are busy at a given time. 21st customer will try to make a call. Now, what will happen? Since all the 20 trunks are already busy in the calls, the 21st customer's call will not get connected, right? So such condition is known as congestion. And of course, when we talk about calls, we are talking about what? We are talking about lost call systems, because you know that when we talk about telephony, we always talk about lost call systems right? What happens in a lost call systems? It is also called as circuit switched system, right? In such systems, what will happen? All the attempts to make a calls over a congested group of trunks are unsuccessful, right? In a lost call system, if a call is not connected at a given time, it will be lost. That is why it is called as lost call system, right? It is not the your save and forward. We are talking about lost call. We talked about the what is that save and forward also. Save and forward happens in which type of systems? Message switching systems. In message switching systems, what will happen? Even if the message is not delivered at a given time, it will be stored. It will be stored and it will be forwarded whenever the system becomes free, right? But in the lost call systems, what happens? If you are attempting a call, right, and if all the trunks are busy at that time, your call will not be connected, or I can say that the call becomes unsuccessful. So this belongs to what? The lost call systems. In a lost call system, the result of congestion is that the traffic actually carried is less than the traffic offered to the system. What do you mean by this traffic offered to the system? For example, assume that an exchange has got only 20 lines, right? It has got only 20 lines or say 20 trunks, and the number of calls at a given instant of time that are incoming to the exchange are 100. So 100 calls are incoming, but how many lines are there in the exchange? Only 20. That means how many calls it can carry? Only 20. So in that case, what will happen? The number of traffic that was offered was 100 calls, but how many calls it was able to carry? It was able to carry only 20. That is why in a lost call system, if there is a congestion, the traffic actually carried will be less compared to the traffic offered to the system. Therefore, we can write traffic carried will be equal to traffic offered minus traffic lost, right? Traffic carried will be equal to traffic offered minus traffic lost. This equation holds good only during the time of congestion. That also you have to keep in mind. Whatever equation we saw, this equation holds good only during the time of congestion. If there is no congestion, what will happen? Whatever traffic you are offering will be carried if the lines are free, right? Now the proportion of calls that are lost or delayed due to congestion is a measure of the parameter called as service. How do you measure a service, right? For a given operating company, we have to talk about service provided. How they measure the service provided? It is nothing but proportion of calls that is lost or delayed due to congestion, right? If the number of calls are more, if the number of calls that are lost are more, right, then this number will go high. It is actually we say for example, let us take into account two companies, A and B, company A and company B, right? For a company A, if a service provided value is 3, and for a company B, service provided value is 5, which one is good? Of course, the company that has got less number will be treated as good, because here the service provided unit will decide the number of calls that are lost. Getting it? It is opposite. More the value, remember this, more the value of service provided, it is worst. We say that more the value, worst is the service. Less the value, good is the service. I hope you understood. If I say service provided by Airtel is 3, service provided by Vodafone is 2, what does it mean? Which company is good? Obviously Vodafone is good because the number is less there. What that number indicates? The number indicates how many calls will be lost during the congestion. it is called as what? Grade of service. And how do you define this grade of service? Grade of service is given by B. B is nothing but the grade of service. It is equal to number of calls lost divided by number of calls offered, right? Hence also we can write the same equation as what? Grade of service B equal to traffic lost by traffic offered. It will be equal to proportion of time for which the congestion exists. Or it can be always put up in, it can also put up in another form. The grade of service B will be equal to probability of congestion. Or this is also possible. We can put it in one more way. B will be equal to probability that a call will be lost due to congestion. Thus, if we offer A length of traffic to the group of trunks having grade of service B, the traffic lost will be equal to A into B, right? And the traffic carried will be equal to A into 1 minus B lengths. Remember this, if I offer a traffic of A lengths to the group of trunks having a grade of service B, traffic lost will be given by A into B, and the traffic carried will be given by A into 1 minus B lengths. This is what I was talking about. The larger the grade of service, the worst will be the service given, right? It is always opposite. It doesn't like many of the people think that if grade of service is high, service will be good, but it is exactly opposite. If the grade of service value is large, what does it mean? The service provided will be worst. Normally, when do they define the grade of service? Grade of service will be calculated during the busy hour only. Grade of service for a given operating company will be calculated during the busy hour. At other times, of course, the grade of service will be better, because you know that the more number of calls occur only during busy hour. See, busy hour grades of service can vary, right? Now, grade of service in busy hour, it may be in between 1 to 1000 for cheap trunks inside a exchange, right? Or it may be, sorry, 1 in 1000. 1 in 1000 means what? For every 1000 calls that are happening, one call is lost, right? Or if for every 1000 calls that are offered, one call is lost, right? It will be 1 in 1000 for cheap trunks inside an exchange. 2, it can, for inter-exchange connections, it will be 1 in 100. Means what? For every 100 calls offered, one call will be lost. Similarly, for international roads, it will be 1 in 10. For every 10 calls, one call will be lost. Getting it? Now here, for this is nothing but a local exchange. 1 in 1000 is, it is for local exchange. In local exchange, what will happen? Trunks will be cheap, cost wise. So they will provide more number of trunks in the local exchange. That is why here what is happening? Grade of service is less, right? Similarly, for inter-exchange connections, the number of trunks will be less. That is why grade of service is also, what I can say, less. Sorry, more. It is more. 1 in 100 means it is more, right? Similarly, for international roads, the trunks will be very costly because we are running optical fibers there, right? And I cannot run more number of lines. So lines will be limited for international routes. That is why grade of service will be even more. It will be very huge. 1 in 10 means it is huge, right? 1 in 10 is huge compared to 1 in 100, and 1 in 100 is huge compared to 1 in 1000, right? So here, if you observe, grade of service is having the highest weightage for international routes. It is somewhat less for inter-exchange routes. It is very less for local exchange. trunks inside of the local exchange. Or in other words, you can say that the probability of the calls getting lost in the local exchange is very less. Whereas for inter-exchange connections, it is somewhat more. Similarly, for expensive international routes, the probability of the call getting lost is even high. Right? Let us go through this problem. What is saying, during the busy hour, 1,200 calls were offered. 1,200 calls were offered to a group of trunks, and 6 calls were lost. Right? 1,200 calls were offered. How many calls were lost? 6 calls were lost. The average call duration was 3 minutes. And what all things is asking you to find? First thing that is asking you to find is the traffic offered, the traffic carried, the traffic lost, the grade of service, the total duration of periods of congestion. First one is the simple, the traffic offered. Traffic offered, how do you calculate in Erlang? Make use of the same equation, A equal to C into H divided by T. This will be equal to 1,200 because 1,200 calls are being made. Right, into 3. Why 3? Because average call duration is 3 minutes. Capital T will be 60 minutes because we are talking about busy hour. You know that 1 hour will be equal to 60 minutes. That is why this becomes what? 1,200 into 3 divided by 60. That will be how much? 60 Erlangs. So 60 Erlangs is nothing but the traffic that is offered. We are done with the first one. Let us go to the second. The traffic carried. Right? The traffic carried. How many calls were carried? 6 calls were carried. That means again I need to calculate. Sorry, 6 calls were lost. 6 calls were lost means what? How many calls were carried? 1,200 minus 6 calls were carried. That is why it becomes what? 1194. Again, call duration is same. That is 3 minutes. That is why 1194 into 3 divided by 60. Why 60? Because we are talking about busy hour. So 1194 into 3 divided by 60, that will be 59.7 Erlangs. So this much 59.7 Erlangs of traffic was carried. Right? 60 Erlangs of traffic was offered. Out of that, 59.7 Erlangs was carried. Third one, what is asking? The traffic that is lost. You can make out easily here only. 60 Erlangs was offered, 59.7 Erlangs was carried. So how much is lost? Simply subtract 60 minus 59.7. It will give 0.3. Or you can go in the other way also. How many calls are lost? 6 calls are lost. That is why 6 into 3 divided by 60. Again, that will give you the same answer. That is 0.3 Erlangs. Done. We are done with the first 3. Let us go to the fourth one. What is the fourth one is asking? The grade of service. The grade of service, we had a formula. What was the formula? It is equal to number of calls lost by number of calls that are offered. So make use of that formula. B will be equal to number of calls that are lost is how much? 6 divided by number of calls that are offered is 1,200. So that becomes how much? 0.005. Now if you observe here, the grade of service value is very less, right? That means service offered is good. Lesser the value of B, right? Lesser the value of B, good is the service. So here the value of B is 0.005. That is why we can say that service offered is somewhat good, because out of 1,200 calls, only how many calls are being lost? 6 calls are being lost. Right? Coming to the fifth sub question. The total duration of periods of congestion means what? There is nothing but you have to calculate the time duration for which the what you can say congestion was present. How will you calculate this? You have to take grade of service, multiply it by total number of seconds. Now since we are talking about 1 hour, busy hour, So the total number of seconds will be how much? 3600 seconds, right? So B was how much? 0.005. 0.005 into total number of seconds will give you 18 seconds. That means what? Out of 1 hour, for 18 seconds there was the congestion, right? For 18 seconds there was a congestion in the system in the duration of 1 hour. Next we talk about traffic measurement. Means we are talking about how the traffic will be measured, right? There should be some mechanism to measure the traffic in a given exchange, right? So let us see how they will measure the traffic. It is important for an operating company to know how much busy hour traffic its systems are handling, right? They should know how much traffic will be there during the busy hour. They also need to know when the system is becoming overloaded and additional equipment should be installed, right? If they come to know that there is an overload during a particular interval of time in a day, they should take care of that and they should come up with additional equipment so that the overload can be suppressed, right? And traffic should be measured regularly and record should be kept. Now also they come up with forecast of the traffic. What do you mean by forecast of the traffic? Forecast means they will determine how many customers will be coming into the given company in the future. For example, assume that for a company like BSNL, presently there are 100 customers in a given area. Do you think the 100 customers will remain say like as it is for the next 5 years? It may happen said that even though we have 100 customers as of now, the number of customers may increase in the coming years, right? That is why they should determine the forecast. Means what? How many customers may come in the future. Now, based on that, they should upgrade the equipments, or say they should upgrade the number of trunks that are provided in the system. This is with respect to the landline. Even in the mobiles, even in the mobile communication also the same thing happens. If you remember in the class I talked about bandwidth, right? When a new company comes into the market, when a new company, for example, Geo came into the market. When they come into the market, they will be they will not be sure like how many customers will take the service. That is why while coming into the market, they come with a very less bandwidth. They buy very less bandwidth and come into the market, right? And as the number of customers starts increasing, they will come up with a forecast. Depending upon the forecast, what they will do, they will try to buy more bandwidth so that they can give service to more number of customers. The same thing applies to landlines also. Of course, this as I told you, this subject deals with landlines, right? So whenever you are studying this subject, you have to think about landlines, landline telephony. Here also same thing. Traffic will be measured regularly, right? And that records will be kept, and they will come up with a forecast. Forecast means by how much amount the customers may increase in future. Now, based on the forecast, they should provide additional equipment. Equipment means here we are talking about additional trunks, so that the calls may be carried without any congestion. Right now, coming to how did they measure the traffic? Right, they will count the number of calls in progress at regular intervals, especially during the busy hour, and they average the results. What they will do? I will repeat again. They measure the traffic carried, right? They count the calls that are in progress at regular intervals, especially during the busy hours, and they average the results. In the past, in olden days, how did they calculate the number of calls? They calculated it by what you can say, the number of selectors, the number of selectors that are present in the switchboard, right? Or you can say they counted the number of plugs. If you remember, they used to insert plugs in the manual exchange, right? A plug is inserted means what? A call is going on. So the number of plugs will give you an idea about the number of calls that are in progress. That is why they used to count the number of plugs in the olden days, right? Similarly, in automatic, when the automatic exchange came into picture, they started calculating the number of selectors. So the number of plugs and the number of selectors gave an idea about how many calls were in progress. And the results were known as peg count and switch count. Peg count means if you are counting the number of plugs that are inserted in the switchboard, it was known as peg count. Peg count gave you an idea about how many calls are in progress. Similarly, if you take account of the selectors, it was called as switch count. But nowadays, you know that every exchange is an electronic one. Digital switching. We are talking about digital switching, right? Everything is automated these days. So even the traffic is measured by the processors, right? The hardware processors that are controlling the exchange. Now peg count and switch count were laborious, means what, it was done manually used to count, right? And hence it was a somewhat laborious job, right? And hence they came up with something called as automatic traffic recorders. As automatic traffic recorders are present in modern day automatic exchanges. Of course, in modern day automatic exchanges, what happens? The central processors that we have, the microprocessors, they generate the record of calls, right? You need not bother about counting the pegs or the switch here. Everything will be done by the central processors, right? So that is all for today's session.